Let me tell y'all something. This Hawkeye episode, so it was pretty good, right? It was still more of a kind of connector episode, in my opinion, and I feel like episode 6 is really going to be the one that kind of blows everything out of the water and is going to be the best of the series so far. So I'm going to go ahead and make this the Hawkeye episode 5 review, so if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. Obviously, I will be talking in depth, not too in depth, because it's just a review, but I will be talking about what happened in the Hawkeye episode 5, so spoiler warning for Hawkeye episode 5 if you have not watched the episode yet. So at the beginning of the episode, we kind of see a kind of backstory on Yelena a little bit in regards to what happened after the Black Widow movie, and we actually see what happens when Yelena herself gets blipped. And I like these sequences a lot because it gives us kind of insight onto who was blipped, who wasn't blipped, and just kind of what that type of situation was like for different people. Like we saw it in WandaVision with Monica Rambeau as well. And in general, I like seeing these types of scenes where like we get more insight onto something that already happened. Like, you know, we actually already saw it in Hawkeye already with the Battle of New York when Kate was a kid. We saw it in Avengers Endgame with the Ancient One fighting during the Battle of New York as well. We've got various different blip scenes of things that were happening to different people. I think these scenes are just really cool, really give good insight. Now we see a great interaction happen between Yelena and Kate Bishop. It looks like that it at least starts to be... They're not obviously friends right now, but I think that's what's been being foreshadowed right here, is that it's going to be the potential of a start of a long friendship, kind of like how Clint and Natasha were. And then we see a mural dedicated to the Battle of New York, which I think is cool, how they're like memorializing all these things that have happened with the Avengers and stuff like that. And then also when Yelena was talking to Kate Bishop before this scene, actually, she had mentioned that she wanted to see the new Statue of Liberty, so almost implying that the Captain America Statue of Liberty that we're seeing in the No Way Home trailers and stuff like that, a lot of people had thought that it was going to be like a separate type of like monument to Captain America, but it sounds like they're replacing the Statue of Liberty with Captain America. So that's what it just sounds like. At least it's kind of a strange choice, but I digress. That at least sounds like it potentially confirms that No Way Home and Hawkeye run kind of maybe parallel to each other. If not, No Way Home might take place right before Hawkeye, because in No Way Home the trailer looks like the new Statue of Liberty isn't finished yet, and she says she wants to visit the new Statue of Liberty, implying that it is finished. Now we kind of already knew this already, because in one of the recent No Way Home kind of spots that showed up a very little bit of the very beginning of the movie, it did Spider-Man was swinging by the Rogers musical, which we saw in the first episode of Hawkeye. So, and then we have Clint dressing back up as the Ronin to go confront Maya and basically show her his face so that she knows that he is the Ronin, and just so that she knows to stay away from him, otherwise he will actually do something worse about it. And then he also implies that he was tipped off by someone. He said someone that worked for the big guy. Now, I'm not entirely sure. It's implied that Kazi was kind of the mole that informed Clint back in the day about like the whereabouts of her father and stuff, so he could go kill her. Or kill him, I should say. But I'm not entirely sure if it was like Kazi's motive or if Kazi was doing it on behalf of the big guy. And then if we're speaking of the big guy, obviously the biggest thing in this episode by far is we see a picture at the very end of the episode, which Yelena Belova took of Kate's mom, and she was with Kingpin. And although the picture is blurry, it is confirmed to be Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin with the credits. So obviously everything is coming back full circle with the Netflix series. And that honestly got me really excited. Honestly, I'm kind of just more... No, I wouldn't say disappointed. I was just really excited to actually see more things happen with Kingpin this episode. I wish he wasn't just a reveal at the very end. But nevertheless, I think this pretty much shows that he's going to be a heavy influence in the last episode. So I cannot wait for that. Overall, the action in this episode, the action in this entire series has been pretty good. But obviously, this episode didn't really have a lot of action either. I feel like episode 4 and 5 have been heavy story kind of connector episodes into what is going to happen in episode 6. Although I will say as well, I hope the series doesn't end up shooting itself in the foot, because we do have a lot of kind of questions still. We might not have as many questions as before, but I mean, Yelena Belova was tracking down Kate's mom, it looks like. So it either implies that Kate's mom hired her, or it implies that, I mean, Val is the one who gave her the direction to go kill Clint. So it's like, is Val and Kate's mom working together? And if that's the case, why is that so? Why is Kate's mom working with Kingpin? I mean, I think a lot of people already assumed that she was the real crime person. Is Jack still the crime person at all? I mean, he got arrested this episode. So, but I feel like the way it's kind of being framed now, it's almost as if Jack is legitimately being set up. Like he said, he's being framed, and obviously he looked like he didn't take it as seriously. So either he's willing to just take the fall, or maybe it is Kate's mom setting him up completely, and he has no idea about any of that business, and it's really Kate's mom behind everything. And then we have to have the answer for whose watch that is that got stolen from Avengers Tower, and whose identity it is that's being kept a secret. I'm not really sure. I mean, I thought this episode was good. I thought all these episodes were good, but again, this was more or less just kind of a connector episode to me. So comment down below if you enjoyed this episode. I do. I definitely am enjoying this series. I can't wait for the last episode next week, and then we also have No Way Home tomorrow. So about to be a lot of big stuff happening in the MCU. But I appreciate you for watching the video.